The real cost of dreams in Delhi. At 11:30 p.m. in a tiny room in Delhi, a boy sat opening his wallet. Outside on the street, the last sounds of the metro were fading away, but only one question was spinning inside his mind. It had been just 12 days since the month's salary arrived, yet looking at the account balance, he felt as if Delhi had quietly stolen a story right out of his pocket. He had come to study, he had come to earn, he had come to prove himself. But now he couldn't understand whether he was living in Delhi for his dreams, or compromising with his dreams just to live in Delhi. And the real fear begins right here, because in Delhi, the expense is not just the rent. Rent is merely that door behind which an entire army of small amounts stands waiting every month. Every year, Delhi calls lakhs of young people. Someone comes from Bihar, someone from Haryana, someone from UP, someone from that street of a small town where even today family members say just reach Delhi, life will be made. When a youth steps off at the Delhi station or bus stand for the first time, the city feels big to him, fast, and a little terrifying too. But inside that fear, excitement lies hidden. He feels there is college here, coaching, internship, job, exposure. There is a crowd here, but perhaps somewhere in that very crowd, his future is standing too. Then comes the first question, where to stay? And this very question slowly becomes the first EMI of the dream. While looking for PGs and flats in areas like Jamia Nagar, Mukherjee Nagar, Lakshmi Nagar, Malviya Nagar and Saket, young people realize for the first time that even a roof in Delhi is a negotiation. A double sharing PG sounds affordable. 7,000, 8,000, 10,000. But in the room you get one bed, one cupboard and half the privacy. If you want a single room, the cost can suddenly go from 12,000 to 18,000. And if someone says that he needs a little bit of his own space, Delhi smiles and puts the rate of a 1 RK or 1 BHK right in front of him. 1 RK from 10,000 to 16,000 and 1 BHK from 15,000 to 25,000. They sound like numbers, but for a boy with a new salary, these are not numbers but complete pressure. While leaving home, many feel that things will work out in 10 to 12,000. But after coming to Delhi, the very first illusion to shatter is that expenses will remain under control. As soon as rent goes out, the face of the salary changes. The amount that felt big at home starts looking small the moment you take the room key in Delhi. Then comes food. And food does not remain merely a need to fill the stomach. It becomes a daily financial decision. If food is included in the PG, there is a bit of relief. But every PG's food is not like home. Many times there is dal on the plate, but the mind keeps spinning around home-cooked roti. For those living in a flat, a different set of expenses begins. Groceries, gas, vegetables, milk, tea, utensils, time, and sometimes the fatigue of cooking. Food easily runs from 3,000 to 6,000 rupees. But the story doesn't stop here, because hunger in Delhi is not solved only from the kitchen. Sometimes there is a late-night assignment, sometimes courage runs out while returning from office, sometimes you have to eat out with friends. One online order feels small, but at the end of the month, that very thing becomes a big question. Then comes travel. The Delhi metro is truly a lifesaver, but even a lifesaver is not free. College, coaching, internship, office, interview, library, a friend's room and sometimes another locality to see a house. Every journey feels short, but the monthly total quietly keeps growing. 1,000 to 2,000 rupees can easily go on the metro alone. If an e-rickshaw or auto gets added along the way, the budget line gets stretched further. And this is the place where Delhi feels cheap as well as expensive. Because one trip is manageable, but a daily trip becomes a fixed cost of life. Now look at phone and internet. Earlier these felt like luxuries, now they are survival tools. Mobile recharge, 250 to 400 rupees. Wi-Fi or internet, 500 to 800 rupees. Altogether 700 to 1,000 rupees, just the price of staying connected. But staying connected is essential. Online class, job email, UPI payment, maps, resume, rent group, internship update, video calls from home. If the phone turns off, it's as if a part of life turned off. Then comes electricity. And in Delhi's heat, a fan, cooler or AC is not just comfort. Many times it becomes a question of saving sleep. Young people living in flats have to pay electricity bills separately. Cleaning, washing clothes, drinking water, minor repairs, utensils and daily small needs are separate. All these together can reach 2,000 to 5,000 rupees. And the strange thing is that none of these expenses look scary individually. The fear comes when you sit down on the last Sunday of the month and add everything up. Rent, food, travel, internet, electricity, laundry, medicines, notes, tea, emergency, and suddenly a new total stands right in front of you. This is Delhi's hidden math. Here, expenses are not created by big decisions but by small daily choices. A student thinks, today it's just 50 rupees for tea and a snack. An intern thinks, I'll take an auto today, I'm getting late. An employee thinks, I'll order food today, I'm too tired. Every decision is practical. Every expense is justified. But at the month's end, those very same justified expenses gather together and ask a question bigger than the salary. If a youth's starting salary is between 25,000 and 35,000, Delhi teaches him maturity immediately. A 30,000 salary sounds decent. At home people say, the start is good. But in Delhi, that same 30,000 is seen slowly breaking into pieces. Suppose expenses go up to 22 to 25,000. Savings left are 5 to 8,000. And these savings remain only if no accident, illness, trip home or extra fee comes in between. Now imagine, if in some month a call comes from home asking to send some money, or you have to buy a ticket yourself to go to the village, those very savings vanish. This is where the emotional pressure begins. From the outside, the youth looks independent. From the inside, he is silently calculating every expense. Friends say, let's go out on the weekend. People at office say, there's a team dinner. Family members ask, son, are you saving money, right? And he just smiles everywhere and says yes. But at night, when he sits under the tube light of his room, the real account opens. Not of money but of expectations. This is Delhi's biggest trick. This city gives opportunity, but it also demands rent just to reach that opportunity. Someone here is preparing for UPSC. Someone is doing a CA articleship. Someone is in a media internship. Someone is in his first job. Everyone's story is different, but the month-end tension is pretty much the same. In a room in Mukherjee Nagar, there are more books and less space. In Lakshmi Nagar, there are coaching notes but less personal time. In Saket and Malviya Nagar, there is more exposure, but the expenses are quietly higher too. In Jamia Nagar, a student says, from home it felt like it would be managed in Delhi. Then after pausing for a moment he adds, it gets managed, but nothing is left behind. This line is simple, but the entire story is hidden within it. Because in Delhi, many people do not break, they just keep stretching. They try to spend less. They take shared rooms. They eat out less. They calculate things like metro passes. They buy second-hand books. But still, some new expense knocks on the door. Sometimes security deposit. Sometimes broker charge. Sometimes shifting. Sometimes exam form. Sometimes laptop repair. Sometimes a sudden medical bill. And these are those expenses for which nobody does any emotional preparation. Before coming to Delhi, people ask about the rent but they don't ask about an emergency fund. There is another hidden cost, the cost of loneliness. This doesn't show up on a bank statement, but it impacts the wallet. When missing home, someone goes out to drink chai. When stress increases, someone watches a movie. When loneliness hurts, someone goes on an unnecessary outing. This is not wrong. A human being is not a machine. But in Delhi, even emotional survival sometimes becomes a financial expense. Then comes comparison. A friend's better PG, a colleague's branded phone, a classmate's cafe lifestyle. Looking at social media, it feels like everyone is managing, only I am lagging behind. But the truth is that many people are not managing, they are just showing off. In Delhi, the struggle often remains hidden behind a filtered photo. Therefore, the biggest question is not whether Delhi is expensive or cheap. The real question is, what is the actual price being paid to live in Delhi? Is it just rupees? Or are sleep, comfort, privacy, health, memories of home and worry about the future also included in that same bill? Right here comes a major turn in the story. Because calling Delhi merely a city of expenses would also be an incomplete truth. This very city gives networks. This very city gives interviews. This very city gives exposure. This is the place where a boy from a small town feels himself standing on a big stage for the first time. But it is important to understand the difference between opportunity and exploitation. If salary growth does not grow faster than expenses, the dream can slowly turn into survival. For many young people, the first year is the hardest. They have to understand the city, understand the locality, understand the real frequency of expenses. In the first month, they are shocked by the setup cost. In the third month, regular expenses become clear. In the sixth month, they find out that making a savings plan is a compulsion, not a choice. And this is the place where smartness begins. Earning in Delhi is a skill, but surviving in Delhi is also a skill. Which area to live in, whom to share with, how to manage food, how long the commute will be. The entire monthly budget can change with these decisions. Sometimes cheap rent turns out expensive because the commute is too long. Sometimes an expensive PG works out fine because both food and travel costs are saved. In other words, Delhi's budget is not just a game of cutting expenses. It is a game of understanding the total life cost. The young people who understand this math quickly panic less. Those who don't understand feel a little relief every month as soon as the salary comes, and the exact same fear as soon as the salary leaves. The first date of the month is truly like a small festival for the youth of Delhi. Money arrives in the account, plans are made, calls go home, confidence returns. But as the dates move forward, the graph of confidence starts coming down. Rent settled by the 10th, food and travel by the 15th, small expenses by the 20th, and the calculator in the last week. Then the same question returns: am I moving forward in Delhi or am I just staying afloat? The answer to this question isn't found immediately. Because in Delhi, progress doesn't always show up in the bank balance. Sometimes progress shows up in language. Sometimes in confidence, sometimes in the way of speaking in an interview, sometimes in the fact that now the youth isn't afraid of any big city anymore. But if financial pressure remains constant, that same progress can turn into fatigue. Therefore, the dream of Delhi demands planning, not just passion. The biggest mistake is that people get happy just by confirming an admission, a job, or a room. The real preparation is of the monthly cash flow. How much is the rent? How much is the deposit? How much realistic food expense will go? How much daily travel is there? And how much at minimum to save for emergencies? These questions sound boring, but these very questions save dignity in Delhi. Because dignity is not just in dreaming big dreams. Dignity is also in the fact that in the last week of the month, a person does not feel helpless. The most important insight of this story is just this: Delhi doesn't break anyone's dream, but it turns an uncalculated dream into reality very quickly. This city asks, you have ambition, that's fine. But do you have a budget? You have courage, that's fine. But do you have a backup? And perhaps this is Delhi's real test. Talent alone doesn't survive here. Patience, planning and emotional strength survive here too. For the youth who understand this city, Delhi doesn't remain a furnace of expenses. It becomes a strict teacher that takes fees every month to teach life's practical lessons. At the end of the month, that same boy opens his wallet again. This time the balance is low, but the panic in his eyes is less. Because now he has understood that living in Delhi is not just paying room rent. It is bearing the monthly responsibility of one's dream. And when a youth, even after understanding this responsibility, gets up to try again the next month, that is the real story. Delhi is expensive, yes. Delhi is tough, absolutely. But every youth enduring in Delhi isn't just bearing expenses, he is paying the price of his future in installments.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible, but in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.